Good evening, this is Royce Miller coming back at you with yet another, film foodie. Tonight on the docket, uh, uh, we're now entering the Twilight Zone. Um, this normal seeming burger is actually deceptively covered in peanut butter. Now, is this normal for a burger? No. Is it abnormal for a burger? Well, yes, but also there is some, there's some, not, there's some, God, what's the word? Like, there's some precedent for it. Uh, there's the Undead Elvis Zombie Burger in Des Moines, which may get spotlighted later in November, but well, not the burger itself, but the joint it came from. Anyway, this is a normal McDonald's hamburger with peanut butter on it from the Twilight Zone movie. Specifically, I think it's called "It's a Good Life," the short with the boy who can alter reality. Long story short, a kid is born with godlike power. And in the original story, he has a whole town enslaved to his will, where they have to think happy thoughts, they have to always be smiling. Uh, it was parodied in both Johnny Bravo and in The Simpsons. And then it was adapted for the movie. Uh, but instead of the whole town, it's just one house with some random strangers he kidnapped. Now the show used a lot more implications. Like, it didn't show you the things he did, but it 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 implied with shadows. Like, I think there was this thing in the Johnny Bravo episode where Johnny has to babysit the kid, where he's like where Johnny gets teleported out to the cornrows or whatever by the kid, and that's supposed to be a big threat in the original TV show. And then of course there's the infamous Jack in the Box transformation from the show that they parody in The Simpsons. But in the movie, a teacher goes to, or a teacher actually. Okay, so in the movie, it's a different story. This kid has these godlike powers, but he doesn't. Excuse me. He doesn't enslave a whole town. He just enslaves this one house, and but he still goes outside. He still goes to the arcade and stuff. And he's playing a video game at a gas station where this teacher stops at, and she's, and everyone else is, like, whatever, kid. But she's nice to him. So he brings her into his home. Like, alters the roads and stuff, brings up a fog, whatever, so that she gets dragged to the house. She has no choice but to go to the house, basically. And, or no, maybe she offers him a ride home, and that's how she gets there. But then, then she's being introduced to the family, and something's off. The sister's watching cartoons, and her mouth is gone, and the mom asks, "What's for dinner?" And he says, "Oh, it's in the oven." And she pulls out peanut butter hamburgers. Now, there's a whole list of things that we can go into about the Twilight Zone movie. Specifically, John Landis is responsible for the death of a man and two children, which I can't say he did it because legality. He was acquitted of manslaughter. Now, That doesn't mean he was acquitted of negligent homicide, but that would be a double jeopardy. Um, so if he's acquitted for the one, he's acquitted for the other, basically. Sucks to suck. Um, for the law system, I mean. But there is something weirdly meta about a man adapting a short showcasing a racist getting his comeuppance by being forced into situations in which minorities were persecuted, and it ending up with two of the kids who were supposed to showcase two of the minorities that were being persecuted being, uh, being killed, ended up being killed in a horrible accident because he didn't respect that they were children and, well, respect that they were human beings, basically. I don't know. Whatever, let's eat the peanut butter burger. Alright. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's goopy. So, I kind of got this a couple hours ago. I microwaved it right before filming so that it would be a little more warm, and I microwaved it too much. I didn't expect the burger to be this melty. Well, it's, I mean, it's a frozen McDonald's hamburger, so it's already kind of dry, but all I taste is peanut butter, man. Like, Good Mythical Morning discussed this a lot, but peanut butter covers a world of hurt. Like, yeah, the cheeseburger or the hamburger in the middle is a weird texture, but that's about it. I mean, I've had weird textures in my peanut butter before. Like chewy bread or crunchy peanut butter or, stuff like that. I think it's weird the ones they did choose to adapt because, like, Terror at 20,000 feet, yeah, that makes sense. And John Lithgow does an amazing job. He's arguably way better than William Shatner. Not knocking Shatner, though. He does a great job, too. Uh, the one with the kid also kind of makes sense, but the one Steven Spielberg didn't make a lot of sense. The kick the can one. I don't even know if that was if that feels like it was original to the movie to give it more heart, I guess. Um, I would have done All the Time in the World. Like that, I feel like is the quintessential Twilight Zone episode. You know, Burgess Meredith, glasses on the ground, going, but there was time now. Would that have been too obvious? Maybe. But so is Terror at 20,000 feet. And here's the thought: there's no big helicopter scenes in All the Time in the World. Is it worth not getting sent out to the corn patch? Yeah, yeah, you can stomach it or whatever. Again, you have to remember my only experience with the original episode is the parodies done by Johnny Bravo and by The Simpsons. If you want to watch the Twilight Zone movie, I'd say that sections of it are really good, sections of it are really bad. You know, the Steven Spielberg one is weirdly one of the weakest ones in the film. Um, the wraparound segment with Dan Aykroyd as a monster is out of nowhere and chintzy. And, like, it feels inauthentic to the Twilight Zone brand. Excuse me. You can kind of tell that Rod Serling had nothing to do with it. Uh, I think that, so yeah, like I said, the only really good one of the Twilight Zone anthology films shorts is Joe Dante directed, John Lithgow starring, Terror at 20,000 Feet. Or did Joe... I think Joe Dante directed Terror at 20,000 Feet. He might have directed the boy one, because that does kind of read as a style. Especially like the cartoons coming to life and attacking people. I don't know. All I know for certain is the John Landis one. I mean, I don't even know why they put it in the film. It wasn't finished. The lead actor died. Like, maybe it was out of respect to Nick Morrow, but I don't know. Anyway, at least my shirt didn't get ruined this time. At least I didn't get covered in whipped cream. Y'all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm out.